Yo, 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 what is up, guys? So, Zach is about to tell us a little bit about Ozempic, all right, and how it's changed food. There ain't no going back. This is exactly how Ozempic has changed the food. Zach's about to let us know, so let's go ahead and get it started.
Hello, my name is Zachary Smiggle,
What's up,
and
Zach?
I'd like to show you something. Smoothie King has a GLP-1 support menu. Yes, that is real. Not satire, not a cool edit by the old Zackster. A national
Yeah?
chain looked at the rise in Ozempic, Wegovy, Zepbound, and said, cool, let's redesign our menu. And
All
guess
right.
what? They're not alone. McDonald's announced they're testing new menu items to appeal to users of GLP-1 products. Factor the meal delivery kit service now
He's got some cool edits.
GLP-1
Does a really
specific
good job with
plans.
this.
Nestle launched an entire frozen meal line built around supporting people on the drugs. And Walmart, the largest grocery retailer in the country, literally reported to investors that GLP-1 users were buying miserably less food in their stores.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, buckle up because we are entering the Ozempic economy, a time where brands are shifting their marketing, menus, and even business models.
I'm gonna be real with y'all. I don't know that much about GLP-1s at all. I don't know. I don't even know what that stands for. So hopefully he goes into detail with that. But I'm assuming I'm assuming that that is just scientifically what these weight loss drugs are classified as GLP-1s. But you know what they say about assumptions. So
Not because they care, but because they have to. Roughly 1 in 8 adults are currently using GLP-1 drugs for weight loss. That is
okay.
millions of Americans eating
Quick
less
answer.
food. And here's the thing, a huge part of the food industry is built on volume. More
Yeah.
snacking, bigger portion sizes, buy 3 bags of chips, get 2 free.
I'm gonna stop pausing it. I promise. But this right here, let me go back. I'll pause it where it
A
is.
huge part of the food industry is built on volume. More snacking, bigger portions.
Right here. Y'all gotta go eat that big arch, man. Y'all gotta go try the big arch. I'm not a big dude. I'm not big into like eating at McDonald's. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I don't eat out that often. I'm trying to get back into, the best shape of my life. So I'm really not out like eating fast food like that. Just ordered Domino's yesterday. But yeah, I tried the big arch like a couple weeks back and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. All right. But yeah.
Sizes, buy 3 bags of chips, get 2 free. GLP-1 drugs mess with all of that, and it is causing brands to panic and adapt. The adapting part
Okay.
sounds good in theory, right? We can all agree if big food wants to make their products healthier, that is generally a good thing. But are they actually doing that? Or just slapping a fancy logo on a box of cereal and calling it a day? Well, that's one of the many
Yeah,
things we're
probably the
digging
second
into
part.
today. We're going to follow the money, expose the marketing, and figure out who in this space is actually trying and who's just hoping you don't flip the box around. All that plus Oprah, a few lawsuits waiting to happen, and something even called fiber maxing. Let's get into it.
Fiber maxing.
The
Okay.
year was 1984. Apple launched the first Macintosh computer, Ronald Reagan won his second term, and
All right.
scientists discovered a hormone in the human gut called GLP-1. GLP-1 lowers blood sugar and essentially tells your brain you're full. Cool discovery in 1984, but there was a problem. In your body, it breaks down in just about 2 minutes. Too fast to actually be useful in medicine. Then, in 1992, an endocrinologist named John Ang was studying
There we
Gila
go.
monster venom. Yes, venom from the Gila monster, which,
Oh.
as we all know, is the only venomous lizard in North America. Obviously. But anyways, John
Did not know that, but you learn something new every day, and I'm learning a whole lot in this one video alone. So let's keep it up.
found something wild. The lizard produced a hormone almost identical to human GLP-1, except it stuck around for hours. It was a massive discovery. Scientists took that, recreated it in a lab, and eventually built a twice daily injection. Years later, Novo Nordisk then redefined it into a once weekly shot, and by 2017, the FDA approved it under the name Ozempic. When Ozempic came out, it was not a weight loss drug. It was approved specifically
Getting shot up with that Gilla Gilla. Hey, that's what it is. You got that Gilla Gilla shot. That Gilla lizard.
to treat type 2 diabetes. But as more people started using it, patients were losing significant amounts of weight as a side effect. And so doctors started prescribing it off-label. Off-label means using an FDA-approved medication for a purpose the FDA hasn't specifically approved it for. It's not illegal, doctors actually do it all the time, but
Yo, asking for a friend, they got a pill?
because insurance companies only
They
cover
got a pill
approved
form of
use,
it?
getting something like Ozempic for weight loss meant paying out of
Just
pocket,
ask 'em for
which
a
is why
friend.
the real floodgates opened in 2021 when the FDA approved Wegovy. This was essentially the same medication but at a higher dose, specifically designed and marketed for chronic weight management. This was the green light the world was waiting for, and it turned a medical discovery into a cultural phenomenon overnight. For a while, it felt like every celebrity on the red carpet had suddenly undergone a transformation, but nobody wanted to say the word Ozempic yet. It was the industry's worst kept secret. Chelsea Handler admitted she was on it without even realizing what it was, because apparently her doctor just handed it to her like it was a vitamin. Amy Schumer was one of the few people who actually called out the culture of secrecy. And then there was the Oprah situation. Yeah, that's right, Oprah situation. Nobody illustrates the absolute chaos of this transition better than Oprah Winfrey. For decades, Oprah was the face of the traditional weight loss industry, specifically through her massive partnership with Weight Watchers. She owned 10% of the company and sat on their board, basically acting as the high priestess of counting points. But in 2023, Weight Watchers bought a telehealth company called Sequence, so they could start prescribing these drugs themselves. Oprah stepped down from the board and donated her shares to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest. It was basically a complete surrender.
That doesn't seem like you have the best interest of the people at hand. Big red flag here. All right.
Of the old way of doing things. This whole thing was bizarre, but perfectly sets the stage for where we are today in the Ozempic economy story. We're watching massive brands go through a full-blown identity crisis because the world they spent decades building just doesn't exist anymore. The irony is that for some, this desperate pivot is actually backfiring. Weight Watchers tried to shed its skin and become a pharmaceutical middleman, and the market responded by sending their stock price off a cliff. But this is the new reality. Brands have to account for cultural changes.
The market didn't like it.
Is here. There's a rise of people losing weight and eating less, and of course a boatload of daily grinders focusing on fitness and wellness. People are caring more about their bodies and what they consume because of this new health optimization era. I talked about this in detail in my last video. Wellness is 100% in. People are increasingly focusing on health for a multitude of reasons,
as we should be.
GLP-1 is the icing on the cake. Brands must adapt. The issue is how they're doing that and whether they're doing that at all. And that's nowhere more prevalent than with fast food brands. Let's play a little game. Imagine for a second you were the CEO of a fast food company. You are sitting in your big leather chair, staring at a spreadsheet that shows your customers are suddenly buying way less food because they're on a drug that makes them physically repulsed by grease. What do? Do you go with option A and spend billions of dollars to fundamentally overhaul your entire global supply chain so
Definitely
you start
not.
selling actual
Definitely not.
nutrient-dense, healthy food?
Who would do
or
that?
Do you go with option B and just rebrand your old products to appear healthy so you can keep those profit margins nice and fat? Well,
That's
the
the
answer
one.
A, you'd be classified as a terrible CEO and would probably be fired.
Give that
You know,
man a raise.
Survival is rarely about making a better product. It's often about being better at marketing. And one of the easiest things to market in this economy is protein. Protein signals discipline, fitness, optimization, and all the stuff modern health culture loves. But what you might not know is people on GLP-1s are constantly told to prioritize protein, partially because it helps with fullness, and partially because when you lose weight quickly, you also risk losing muscle. And food brands figured that out fast. For years, dining at Mickey D's was considered unhealthy, but as of March 20th, eating their chicken strips is comparable to eating protein bars, at least according to McDonald's Twitter. Now, don't get me wrong, 40 grams of protein at 460 calories is reasonable, especially because, you know, it's just chicken. But 23 grams of fat with 1400 milligrams of sodium is not. McDonald's really wants to sell this high protein
big arch.
to you. So much so, they've partnered with influencers to showcase how much protein their products have. This influencer in particular has been incredibly forward about her GLP-1 use. And guess what? McDonald's saw that and sponsored her to talk about their high protein options.
And look, I want to be extra direct here. I'm not criticizing Stefania for being open about her diet or her weight loss journey.
Yeah,
My
please
issue
don't.
is not with her.
It's there
What
to
I am
help.
criticizing is the fact that McDonald's saw
You know, people that are doing Ozempic, you know, the GLP-1s, when some people, they need it. you know? And in cases where you need it, like it was medically prescribed as the solution for you that fits best because your life is in danger by the amount of weight that you have. There's no bad, like, nothing's wrong with using them. But if you just have like a little extra pudge and you're taking it, then that's a problem because it's not a medical emergency and you can just go to the gym like everybody else. Okay. But yeah,
A wellness creator with a GLP-1 audience and thought, perfect, let's use that to sell fast food. That is weird. When someone builds a platform around transforming their health through diet and exercise and then takes a McDonald's sponsorship, the irony is worth pointing out. Moreover, I think it's strange that wellness and fitness creators are partnering with fast food brands, period, because a lot of the people turning to wellness content for motivation have a complicated relationship with fast food. And while some people can work toward moderation, some can't. Research shows that people who regularly consume fast food have a 20 to 129%
it's
increased
tough,
risk
man.
of obesity compared to non-consumers. That is not a small number. So yeah, this is all very weird, and I believe it's fair to point out.
So while McDonald's doesn't have a dedicated GLP
Like it's really tough. Like I'm still trying to get rid of my man titties, you know, like I gotta firm back up. I gotta get back to what I used to be. Okay. Start posting these videos shirtless once I'm there.
GLP-1 menu, it's not a coincidence that their CEO said they were paying attention to GLP-1 users and then suddenly started marketing how much protein is in their food through influencers, tweets, and blog articles. And McDonald's is far from the only one doing this. Starbucks has done something similar when they launched their protein menu, putting a combo of whey protein and 2% milk into their coffee and matcha. And just like McDonald's, they partnered with a wave of influencers to sell you on these protein-packed products. When these launched, social media was flooded with photos and videos reviewing these protein lattes, and they all looked pretty gross. I can't help but wonder if Starbucks wanted to start sponsoring people so that those videos would show up versus the other videos. But regardless, at least these lattes are healthy, right? Well, not really. If
they're not?
The regular non-sugar-free drinks,
What?
It's pretty crazy. One grande caramel protein latte clocks in at a whopping 37 grams of added sugar.
That's a lot of sugar.
You know, we all love the white stuff, but that is a lot of added sugar, especially for something that's being marketed
We all
as
love the
healthy.
white stuff.
And then, of course, we have Subway, a brand that has spent the last decade trying to outrun its own complicated history with weight loss spokespeople. Well, guess what? They're jumping headfirst into the Ozempic economy too. They recently launched something called Protein Pockets. If you've spent any time on foodie TikTok,
nothing can ever make me hate Subway. I'm sorry. Everybody's like, oh, there's better like sandwich spots, better wraps you can get out there, yada yada yada. Jimmy John's, Firehouse Subs. Bro, Subway has a special place in my heart, man. Me and Subway, we go way back. So nothing's ever gonna make me hate on it. All right, live with it. Get over it.
you probably have seen influencers holding these up like they're some kind of holy relic of protein and fitness. These creators talk about them as if Subway just discovered the concept of amino acids for the first time. While their protein pockets are not necessarily unhealthy, and they're certainly healthier than a lot of other fast food items, the marketing is just marketing. For example, their regular rotisserie style chicken 6-inch sub actually has fewer calories, half the fat, and about the same amount of protein as their new Baja Chicken protein pocket. There really is no significant difference between ordering certain regular menu items and these new protein pockets.
Gotta market it, baby.
Those are just a
You
few
gotta
light
market
examples. Some brands are way more forward about what they're doing here and who they're trying to target. In December 2025, Shake Shack introduced its new Good Fit menu, and unlike Starbucks or Subway, they did not dance around it. In the company's own words, their menu is designed to include high protein, gluten-free, vegetarian, and yes, GLP-1 choices.
There we go.
Here's the funny part.
There it is.
The Good Fit menu is not really some revolutionary new line of food. They took their same burgers and chicken sandwiches and just swapped buns for lettuce wraps.
Swap
highlighted
them
the protein
buns.
numbers and repackaged the whole thing to sell to you. Now, to be fair, some of these swaps probably are better for certain people, cutting carbs, shrinking portions, and making it easier to find higher.
This isn't something new. This has been going on since I was in high school. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm old or anything. I'm just saying, like, this has been going on. It was probably been going on since I was in elementary school. Like, no buns, give me the lettuce wrap. Like, if you're trying to cut down on your carbs, hey, You get something with like a couple patties. You get the sauce because you still want the taste, but don't get any buns. Don't give me buns. Give me wrap it up in lettuce, and give me 2 of those instead of like a side of fries. You know, no meal, just 2 of those, and get you and drink some water on the side. This isn't new. Like, this has been a thing. I don't think there's anything wrong with this.
Protein options is not inherently a bad thing, but it is not exactly innovation. Smoothie King is probably the best example of all of this. In October 2024, the company launched an actual GOP support menu. They called themselves the first national quick service chain to introduce a menu specifically created to assist millions of Americans taking prescription GLP-1 drugs.
Okay.
The smoothies were marketed around the exact language you would expect: high protein, rich in fiber, nutrient dense. All the buzzwords, all the hits.
That's what we want.
Amazing. Let's take a look at these special GLP-1 smoothies and compare them to their counterparts. Here we have the Gladiator GLP-1 vanilla smoothie, and here we have the regular Gladiator vanilla smoothie.
That looks like the same thing.
Something isn't working here. Let's try it again. I said, here is the GLP-1 version, and here is the regular.
It's the same thing.
They're the same thing. Well, surely
who would have thought?
Well, what about the Keto Champ GLP-1 chocolate versus the regular Keto Champ chocolate?
Oh, come on, Smoothie King.
Oh my God. It's the same thing again.
I hope they're not charging
Smoothie
more for
King,
this.
What are you doing? Most of the GLP-1 smoothies are no
What?
different than the regular smoothies on the menu.
That's
There are no
robbery if
secret
they are.
ingredients hidden in the blender. The recipe and the base are the same. When I looked this up, other people complained about this, and the only apparent difference I could find for these smoothies is that the normal versions lets you add things like peanut butter or bananas, while the GLP-1 versions guide you towards other options. But when you go to order these smoothies on their website, they're presented exactly the same. You can do that for either smoothie. So it's essentially the exact same product, but with different marketing. So do you notice the pattern here? The GOP-friendly fast food revolution is, in many cases, not about brands suddenly caring about your health. It's just them advertising their products differently. Take away some buns, highlight the protein amount, add some fiber, and suddenly your old
Never
product
get rid of the
gets to
buns, man.
cosplay as part of a medical lifestyle plan. What a hilarious and annoying world we live in. But listen, we know most fast food brands usually don't care about our health or wellness.
Never lose
What
them
about
buns.
household food items? Well, if you think the drive-thru is getting weird, you should see what is happening in grocery store aisles.
Tell me
A
about
recent
it.
Cornell University study found that within the first 6 months of starting a GLP-1 medication, households reduced their grocery spending by an average of 5.3%. Among higher income households, the drop was even steeper, at more than 8%. And
Wow.
the biggest casualties? Savory snacks, sweets, cookies, and baked goods, down nearly 10%. So just like fast food, these brands are taking a hit. And what exactly are they doing? Well, shoving protein down our throats.
Oh my
There's
goodness.
protein pasta,
Oh my
protein
God.
chips, protein Snickers bars, protein cereal, protein pancakes, and even protein infused water.
What?
But I really want to highlight this one specific example just because of how ridiculous it is. Kellanova, the company you probably know better as Kellogg's, the snack giant behind Pringles, Cheez-Its, and Pop-Tarts, makes exactly the kind of ultra-processed snacks health-conscious consumers are cutting first.
Yeah.
So what was their answer
I haven't
to
had Pop-Tarts in
GLP-1
forever.
era?
Love them, but
Protein
can't eat them.
Pop-Tarts. Available in flavors like Slam and Strawberry and Boost in Brown Sugar Cinnamon, which are real product names that an adult signed off on.
Are they
They're
healthy now?
marketing these as a bold innovation for people looking for a protein boost on the go. I mean, look at how large the word protein is labeled on the box. Surely this must be a healthy snack. Well, the actual math here is incredible. A serving of these new protein boosted Pop-Tarts, which is 2 pastries, comes out to 380 calories, only 10 grams of protein, and 30 grams of sugar. Not only is this an extremely high amount of sugar, but per calorie, that's
terrible.
an awfully low amount of protein.
It's
For
terrible,
reference,
man.
a
Come on,
100 gram
Pop-Tarts.
Chicken breast contains 165
I wanted to eat
calories
y'all again.
and 31 grams of protein, meaning you need to consume over 1,100 calories or 6 whole Pop-Tarts to get the same amount of protein as 100 grams of chicken breast. What a joke! But what I think is really funny about all of this is just how out of touch it feels. Because nutritious, protein-dense pastries do actually exist. There are numerous brands that sell them, and Pop-Tart could easily compete with them if they tried.
Come
but
on,
they didn't.
Pop-Tarts.
They took the regular version, which is heavily marketed towards children, and just added a splash of protein. So I think it's safe to say protein Pop-Tarts were not made for health-focused adults. But they were not really made for kids either, because kids eating Pop-Tarts do not care about protein, and parents who actually monitor their kids' diet are probably not buying Pop-Tarts in the first place. So
I
really,
know I
who
didn't care
exactly
about
is this
protein when
for?
I was
What's
eating them
crazy about
things.
this bizarre protein
Throwing them
advertising
Pop-Tarts
strategy
back,
is that
man.
the FDA does not regulate how brands use the word protein in their marketing. Any brand can do it, and the exact same thing is true for GLP-1 friendly. There is no regulated or medically defined standard for what the term actually means on a package. A brand can
nice to
define it
know.
however they want. Take Nestle, who released a whole new line of GLP-1 friendly frozen meals called Vital Pursuit. The packaging has this massive V that aggressively highlights the protein amount and a big GLP-1 friendly label right on the front. Then there is Conagra, who
That's
went
good.
through
33
over 2
grams of
dozen
protein is
existing
good.
healthy choice meals, changed absolutely nothing about the recipes, and just started labeling them as GLP-1 friendly.
19
Two
grams
completely
protein
different
could
levels
be
of
better.
effort, same label, no rules. When a term means everything, it means nothing. And to me, as a consumer, that's generally concerning. Because where does it end? If food brands can advertise essentially however they want, how can we trust anything at face value?
True.
Honestly, not to sound insane, but I don't think we can. And nothing proves that more than what is happening right now with fiber. The
Right.
CEO of PepsiCo recently declared that fiber will be the next protein. And if you look at the numbers, he is very likely right. 64% of Americans are now intentionally trying to add more fiber to their daily routine. Whole Foods named
Give us
fiber
some
one of the
fiber,
top
man.
food trends for 2026. Search interest for gut health has skyrocketed.
Give us
and
what
the
we want.
trend has even birthed something called fiber maxing, where people are essentially gamifying their digestion for fiber gains. But one of the surprising reasons
Haven't
fiber
heard
is
of it.
exploding right now, GLP-1. One of the most common and unglamorous side effects of GLP-1 drugs is constipation. So no matter how you slice it, fiber matters for everyone. There's a reason that dietitians and doctors recommend it so much. The issue is that brands know it matters, and they're absolutely milking that. Poppy is probably the clearest example of how messy this has all become. In 2024, a woman sued the company, claiming Poppy was overstating its health benefits and misrepresenting the functional value of the fiber in the soda. Celebrities were drinking it, influencers were pushing it, the branding was slick, the cans were colorful,
I
and
love
the
Poppy.
message was everywhere. Drink this and your gut will thank you. But the fiber inside? Well, it's added or isolated fiber. This type of fiber can make the fiber count higher on nutrition labels, but do not always provide the same benefits as fiber found in whole foods like fruits or vegetables. Poppy later agreed to an almost $9
Well,
million
duh.
settlement while denying wrongdoing. The best part of this
What are we talking about here? Of course, the fiber in a drink like Poppy isn't going to be as good as the fiber in a natural thing like a vegetable or a fruit. Why are we even making that comparison? That we're opening up lawsuits on that now? Oh my goodness. There's a lot of stuff you can open up a lawsuit on. And did he say they settled? What?
Poppy later agreed to an almost $9 million settlement while denying wrongdoing. The
What?
best part of the story, though, while the lawsuit was still very much a thing, PepsiCo looked at Poppy,
That's
looked at
so
the settlement,
dumb.
looked at the problematic isolated fiber,
That's so
and
dumb.
wrote a check for almost $2 billion.
Wow.
Yeah, that's right. Pepsi acquired Poppy, not because the product matters, but because the brand does. Welcome to the Ozempic economy.
Well, it's a
And
good
I
brand.
think this really highlights what we are all dealing with here. This is not really a story about Ozempic at all. It is a story about what happens when consumer behavior changes.
So, if we've learned anything, the moral of the story is if you disagree with the marketing that some of these big name brands are pushing out, open up a lawsuit, get some money out of it.
Corporations have
So
no clue
dumb.
what to do about it. GLP-1 use is the tip of the iceberg, and protein Pop-Tarts are not going to save anyone. The industry's response has almost been universally the same. Not to make better food, not to actually invest in nutrition, but to find the fastest, cheapest, most marketable solution possible, which usually just means slapping a new label on an old product and hoping nobody looks too closely.
Yeah.
And that is the part that generally makes me angry, because this
Me
is
too.
a calculated bet. Brands are spending enormous amounts of money on advertising, on influencers, on
And the thing is, it's the same product and they're upcharging you for it. Same exact product, different marketing packaging, and they're charging you more for it. And you're going out there and you're buying it. It's working. They wouldn't keep doing it if it didn't work. Think about that now.
GLP-1 menus and protein branding and fiber sodas because they have done the research and concluded that most people will not look any closer. They're
Yeah.
banking on you being lazy. And for
Lazy
a lot
and
of people,
stupid.
that bet is going to pay off. So I guess if there's one thing I will leave you with, it's this.
What
Don't
is it,
be
Zack?
afraid to turn the box around, not because you need to optimize every meal or obsess over every macro,
Yeah.
but because the front of almost every product in the Ozempic economy was written by a marketing team, not a dietitian. Thanks so much for watching. If you're still watching at this very moment, I appreciate you so very much. So
We appreciate it, Zach. This was awesome content. Actually taught me a little bit about it, and I mean, this is an issue. It's a real issue. So all of y'all go over there to his channel. I'm gonna leave a link to his channel down below. Make sure you liked his video. Like, this was some good content. But again, I will see all of y'all in the next one. Peace.